You know that moment when you lock eyes with a stranger and the world tilts on its axis, when a single conversation unravels you like a spool of golden thread, leaving you breathless and wondering, have I known you before? This isn't just chemistry. This is the universe whispering a secret in your ear, one as ancient as stardust and as intimate as your own heartbeat. You've just met your twin flame. But here's the plot twist no one warns you about. This isn't a rom-com. It's a sacred thriller, complete with cosmic plot twists, divine timing that feels suspiciously like tardiness, and a love so fierce it burns away everything you thought you knew about relationships. And somewhere between the euphoria and the existential meltdowns, a question starts to simmer. Is this soulmate connection a gift from God or some kind of spiritual pop quiz? Let's be real. If this is a test, the grading system is unconventional. Pass a trial by fire, earn extra credit for radical forgiveness, bonus points for not stalking their social media during the separation phase. We've all been there. But what if the purpose isn't to pass or fail? What if it's to transform, to alchemize your very understanding of love, surrender, and why the universe pairs soul-shaking connection with soul-stretching growth? Consider the hummingbird. It doesn't just sip nectar, it hovers mid-air, wings beating 80 times per second, defying gravity to drink deeply. That's you in this journey, suspended between heaven and earth, between longing and fulfillment, learning to stay open even when every instinct says to flee. The mystics called this the sacred tension, the space where human love brushes up against the divine and leaves both forever changed. So buckle up, beautiful seeker. We're diving past the Instagram hashtags and into the raw, radiant truth about twin flames. Not as a destination, but as a pilgrimage, one that rewires your soul, rewrites your definition of love, and just might reveal why the universe picked you for this wild, exquisite ride. By the end, you won't just wonder if twin flames are a test from God. You'll start to suspect you're the answer. You meet them, this very person who feels like a lightning strike to the soul, and suddenly, everything you thought you knew about love, God, and even yourself gets turned inside out. It's euphoric, terrifying, and utterly disorienting. You think, this must be fate. And then the chaos begins. The fights, the misunderstandings, the inexplicable pull and push that defies all logic. And somewhere in the middle of it, you start wondering, is this love or is this a test? Here's the thing. What if it's both? Twin flames aren't just about romance. They're about reconstruction. Think of them as God's most intense spiritual boot camp. You signed up for this, soul contract style, before you even took your first breath. Why? Because growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens in the fire, where every insecurity, every unhealed wound, every stubborn, egoic attachment gets dragged into the light and demands to be dealt with. Ever notice how your twin flame triggers you in ways no one else can? It's not an accident. They're the mirror you can't ignore, the reflection that won't let you look away. You see in them everything you love and everything you hate about yourself. And that's the divine setup, because how else would you ever confront the parts of you that still believe you're unworthy, that still cling to control, that still choose fear over surrender? This isn't punishment, it's alchemy. The Bible says he will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. Malachi 3:3. Ever watched a silversmith work? They don't just toss the metal into the fire and walk away. They hold it there in the hottest part of the flame until they see their own face reflected in it. That's what's happening here. God isn't torturing you with longing. He's burning away everything that keeps you from recognizing your own divinity. You ever see those nature documentaries where a butterfly struggles to break free from its cocoon? Scientists used to think they could help by cutting it open early, only to find the butterfly would die. The struggle strengthens its wings. Without it, it can't fly. So tell me, what if your twin flame journey isn't about getting the relationship, but becoming the person who can handle it? Because here's the secret: the test isn't about them, it's about you. Will you choose love when fear screams louder? Will you trust divine timing when every cell in your body begs for control? Will you forgive not just them, but yourself for every mistake, every misstep, every moment you thought you failed? This is the sacred curriculum, and if you're here reading this, it means you're already passing. So take a deep breath, beautiful soul. The fire isn't here to destroy you, it's here to reveal you. You ever meet someone and feel like you've known them forever, but not always in a good way? Like maybe in another lifetime, you were siblings who bickered over who stole the last fig in the marketplace, or star-crossed lovers who missed each other by one tragic sunset. That itch of familiarity, the déjà vu of the soul, isn't just your imagination. It's karma knocking on your door with a cosmic invoice. Remember that time you ghosted a kingdom? Yeah, we need to talk. Twin flames don't just stumble into your life by accident. They arrive by design. Soul contracts signed in some celestial backroom, terms and conditions written in stardust. And here's the kicker. This isn't your first rodeo. You've danced this dance before, just in different costumes, on different stages. Maybe last time you were the one who left. Maybe they were the martyr. Maybe you both swore oaths in the heat of passion and then promptly forgot them the second you respawned on Earth. Karma isn't punishment. It's rebalancing. Think of it like spiritual accounting. Every unpaid emotional debt, every promise half kept, every wound left unhealed gets carried forward, not to torture you, but to free you. Your twin flame is the universe's way of saying, hey, you two left some unfinished business in the 15th century. Want to settle that now? And oh, how we resist. You ever notice how the same fights keep happening, just with different backdrops? One minute, you're arguing over text messages, and suddenly it feels like you're reenacting a medieval betrayal. That's not coincidence. That's karmic muscle memory. Your souls are working out old patterns, like actors rehearsing a play they've performed 1,000 times, but still haven't gotten right. But here's where it gets wild. You agreed to this. Before you took your first breath this lifetime, your soul sat down with theirs and mapped out the plot twists. Okay, this time you'll be the runner. I'll be the chaser. We'll meet at the coffee shop, not the battlefield. And for God's sake, let's try not to duel this time. The tears, the separation, the maddening push-pull, it's all part of the script you co-wrote to force growth. Because let's face it, Most of us won't change until the pain of staying the same becomes unbearable. Real transformation requires friction. Imagine karma as a river. Most of your relationships are gentle streams, pleasant, easy to navigate. But your twin flame? They're the whitewater rapid that flips your canoe, drags you under, and spits you out gasping. And yet, somehow, you end up downstream exactly where you needed to be. Bruised, yes. Exhausted, absolutely. But cleaner, lighter, less burdened by the ghosts of who you used to be. The beauty of karmic twin flame work is this. It's never just about them. Every grievance you nurse, every forgiveness you withhold, every moment you cling to the idea that they're the villain, or worse, that you are. You're not just healing this lifetime, you're healing all of them. So the next time you're locked in that same maddening argument, why does he always leave dishes by the sink like a 19th century pirate abandoning treasure? Pause. Take a breath and ask yourself, what's the older wound beneath this? Because chances are, this isn't about the dishes. It's about the time he, or some past life version of him, left something far more precious unfinished. The good news, karma isn't a life sentence. It's a lesson, and lessons end when you learn them. So tell me, brave soul, what if this messy, magnificent, infuriating connection isn't about repeating history, but rewriting it? What if every act of forgiveness, every choice to love without condition, every moment you choose peace over pride isn't just changing your present, but healing your past? The ledger can be balanced. The contract can be completed. And maybe this is the lifetime where you both finally get it right. Let's talk about divine love stories, the kind that make angels lean in and poets weep into their scrolls. You know the ones? Adam and Eve, Solomon and his beloved in Song of Songs. Even Jesus and the church stay with me here. These aren't just ancient romances, they're blueprints. And your twin flame connection? It's got more in common with these sacred templates than you might think. Remember that place in the Bible where God takes a rib from Adam and fashions Eve. Now, most Sunday school lessons stop at, and that's why men leave their parents. But mystics see something deeper, the first twin flame separation and reunion. Adam's rib wasn't just bone, it was his mirror, his other half, the part of himself he didn't know was missing until it stood before him. And when he recognized her, he didn't say, "Hey, nice to meet you." He proclaimed, "This is now bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh." Translation, my soul remembers yours. Sound familiar? Then there's the Song of Solomon, that steamy, scandalous love poem tucked between Ecclesiastes and Isaiah like a secret note passed in church. My beloved is mine, and I am his. You have ravished my heart, my sister, my bride. This isn't just PG-13 Bible fanfic. It's a coded manual for divine union, where the lovers aren't just two people, but symbols of the soul's longing for God. Kabbalists call it the hieros gamos, the sacred marriage between earthly and heavenly. Alchemists saw it as the fusion of sun and moon, sulfur and mercury. And you're living it. Every time your heart aches in separation or sings in reunion, you're walking the same path mystics mapped centuries ago. But here's where it gets wild. Separation is baked into the myth. Think about it. The greatest love stories always have a parting. Orpheus loses Eurydice. Psyche is forbidden to look at Cupid. Even Christ ascends and leaves the disciples like orphans. John 14:18. Why? Because absence isn't abandonment, it's invitation. The space between you and your twin isn't emptiness, it's the very thing that teaches your soul how to love beyond physical presence. Ever notice how twin flame relationships often follow a cosmic script? The ecstatic meeting, the intense merging, the inevitable rupture, the dark night of the soul, and if both do their inner work, the resurrection into something higher. It's not coincidence, it's archetype. You're not just in a relationship, you're reenacting the oldest sacred drama humanity knows. The journey of separation and return to oneness. Now, before you panic and start cross-referencing your texts with the Book of Revelation, relax. This isn't about predicting timelines or decoding divine billboards. It's about recognizing your love story has roots. When you weep at 3 a.m., wondering why this hurts so much, you're echoing centuries of lovers who wrestled the same mystery. When you choose forgiveness over fury, you're walking the same path as the saints who kissed their persecutors. So the next time someone scoffs and says twin flames aren't biblical, smile and hand them Song of Solomon, chapter 8, verses 6 and 7. Love is as strong as death. Many waters cannot quench love. Then ask them, what's stronger than death? What survives lifetimes, drownings, crucifixions? Hint, it's the same force that's pulling you and your twin flame together, even when it feels like you're galaxies apart. Here's the sacred secret. Your love isn't an anomaly, it's an altar. Every tear, every prayer, every moment you choose to love when logic says to leave. That's not just relationship drama, that's ritual. You're not just healing a broken heart, you're participating in the same alchemy that turns lead into gold, separation into sacrament, human love into holy fire. So tell me, radiant soul, what if your twin flame journey isn't about rewriting the rules, but remembering them? What if every challenge is an initiation, every reunion a homecoming, not just to each other, but to the love that dreamed you both into being? The mystics were right all along. The greatest love story ever told. You're living it. Let's get real for a second. If twin flames are a divine test, who exactly is grading it? Is there some celestial teacher's assistant as tallying up your soul's homework? Red pen poised to mark needs improvement when you text them at 2 a.m. again? Or worse, is this one of those pass-fail situations where if you mess up, you're doomed to repeat third grade? I mean, third lifetime? Relax. Put down the existential report card. Here's the radical truth. This test isn't about right or wrong answers. It's about choices, the kind that shape not just your relationship, but your very soul. Think of it less like a pop quiz and more like one of those old-school adventure books where every decision forks the path. If you choose to trust the connection, turn to page 72. If you let fear win, flip to page 118. That's the Wander the Desert for 40 Years chapter. The catch? You're both writing the story as you go. Ever notice how twin flame dynamics feel like a dance where someone keeps changing the music? 1 minute, it's a waltz. The next, it's the electric slide. And suddenly, you're both fumbling. Because, wait, whose lead are we following here? That's free will in action. Every time you choose patience over panic, faith over force, surrender over control, you're not just navigating the relationship, you're co-creating its destiny. But here's where it gets juicy. The test might not be about staying together at all. What if the ultimate goal isn't union, but wholeness? What if the universe isn't waiting to see if you'll get the girl call guy, but if you'll become the person who doesn't need them to complete you? The ancient alchemists had a saying, as above, so below. Maybe your twin flame journey is the below mirror of a above truth. That love isn't about possession, but participation in something sacred. Consider this. The most transformative moments in your journey probably weren't the blissful reunions. They were the crises, the nights you sobbed into your pillow, wondering if God was playing some cosmic joke on you. Yet here's the miracle. Those were the moments that forced you to dig deeper, love fiercer, release tighter. That's not failure, that's alchemy. So is separation failing the test? Or is it the very furnace that forges your freedom? Let's get practical. Say your twin ghosts you again. You've got options. Option A, stalk their Spotify playlists for coded messages. We've all been there. Option B, scream into the void about karmic injustice. Option C, ask, what's this here to teach me about my worth when no one's applauding? One path keeps you looping. The other, it liberates. The secret is that you can't flunk your soul's evolution. Every mistake is just data. Every heartbreak is curriculum. The universe doesn't punish, it recycles your lessons until you've mined them for gold. At the end of the day, twin flames are less about finding the one and more about remembering the one. The love that sourced you both, whether that leads to earthly partnership or eternal soul friendship, isn't the past fail line. It's about how much of God's love you let flow through you, with or without them by your side. So tell me, brave alchemist, what if you've already passed? Not by having a perfect relationship, but by showing up to the fire again and again, letting it burn away everything false until only unshakable love remains. The test was never about them. It was always about you, and darling, you're acing it. You know that moment when you're lying on the bathroom floor at 3 a.m., mascara running like a sad Picasso painting, wondering if God has forgotten your address. Congratulations, darling. You've entered the dark night of the soul, the spiritual rite of passage every mystic, saint, and now you must face. This isn't a detour, it's the main road. And spoiler alert, the tunnel does have an end, even if your tear-blurred vision can't see it yet. Let's be honest, the twin flame journey isn't all synchronicities and electric touches. Sometimes it's radio silence, gut-wrenching doubt, and the eerie sense that the universe has left you on red. St. John of the Cross coined the term dark night in the 16th century, but he might as well have been texting a modern twin flame. Hey, you're not abandoned, you're being recalibrated. Here's the sacred paradox. The dark night isn't the absence of God, it's God's most intimate whisper. Think of it like spiritual anesthesia. You're being hollowed out, not to leave you empty, but to make space for something more. All those parts of you that still believed love had to hurt, that clung to control like a life raft, that confused obsession with devotion, they're being surgically removed. And yes, it feels like death because it is, the death of everything false, so the real you can rise. Ever notice how the darkest nights often come after the brightest glimpses of union? It's no accident. The universe isn't cruel, it's curating. That fleeting taste of heaven with your twin wasn't a tease, it was a preview. Now comes the real work. Can you still believe in love when the feelings fade? Can you trust the blueprint when the architect seems AWOL? This is where most souls tap out. They mistake the process for the outcome, the cocoon for the coffin. But you're different. You're the kind of seeker who's willing to sit in the fire until it reveals its purpose. And here's the secret they don't tell you in spiritual hashtags. The dark night is where your twin flame connection graduates from fantasy to faith. Think of it like this. A sculptor doesn't hate the marble when she chips away at it. She's revealing the masterpiece within. Your loneliness, your doubt, your "why is this taking so long?" These aren't signs you're failing. They're proof you're being shaped into someone who can carry sacred love without crumbling under its weight. So the next time you're knee-deep in existential dread, ask yourself, is God absent or just speaking in a frequency I've forgotten how to hear? Is this pain purposeless or the exact curriculum my soul enrolled in? Am I being punished or prepared for a love my past self couldn't have handled? The mystics knew the dark night always precedes the dawn. Rumi's broken heart birthed the Masnavi. Teresa of Avila's spiritual dryness birthed ecstatic union. Your heartbreak? It's birthing a version of you that no longer needs external validation to know its worth. Here's the radical truth. Your twin flame isn't the light at the end of the tunnel. You are. Every tear, every prayer, every time you choose to believe in love, even when your circumstances scream otherwise, you're not just waiting for the dawn, you're becoming it. So tell me, luminous soul, what if this isn't the end of your story, but the plot twist that makes it epic? What if the darkness isn't your enemy, but the velvet canvas on which your spiritual brilliance is about to dazzle? The night can't last forever, and neither can you. Something brighter is coming. Hold on. So here you stand, at the crossroads of longing and revelation, with heartache and divinity tangled in your hands like vines. You came here asking if twin flames are a test from God, but perhaps the deeper question is, what if you're the answer? This journey was never about proving your worth to the universe. It was about remembering it. Every tear, every sleepless night spent wrestling with the divine, every moment you thought you couldn't take one more step, they weren't obstacles. They were the chisel strokes carving you into a vessel wide enough to hold sacred love. You didn't sign up for a fairy tale. You signed up for a resurrection. Think of the phoenix. It doesn't rise despite the fire. It rises because of it. Your darkest moments weren't proof of abandonment. They were the incubation period for your wings. And now you're learning what the mystics knew all along. The most profound unions aren't about finding completion in another, but recognizing the wholeness that was always there. Your twin flame wasn't sent to complete you. They were sent to awaken you to the truth that you were never broken to begin with. So where does that leave you? With a choice, you can keep waiting for external validation, for a sign, a text, a reunion timed like a Hollywood climax. Or you can do the truly radical thing, claim your divinity now. Not when the stars align, not when they finally see you, not when the universe hands you a neatly wrapped happy ending. Now in the messy, unresolved, breathtaking present. Because here's the secret no one tells you. The test was never about whether you'd get your twin flame. It was about whether you'd finally get yourself. And look at you, still standing, still loving, still believing in something deeper than logic can explain. That's not just hope, that's alchemy. You've turned leaden doubt into golden trust, heartbreak into holy ground. So let's rewrite the question one last time. Not, are twin flames a test from God? But what if they're the love letter you wrote to yourself across lifetimes? The last page isn't about how your story ends with another. It's about how it continues with you, more luminous, more unshakable, more fiercely alive than any fantasy could promise. The fire didn't consume you, darling. It revealed you. And that's the miracle. Now go live it